Hi guys, welcome to my week 2 postpartum vlog. No, monkey, cheeky monkey. Someone keeps trying to come into my video. Why don't you do riding over there?
No.
Where are you going to do riding? With Nanny? Go find Nana. He's on this little cheap $20 bike and it's really cute, but it just makes that noise because we have polished concrete on the floor. So he's been running back up and down, up and down, up and down all day. Oh, hi guys. Week 2 postpartum vlog. I am feeling a little low today, and that's because Mark and Bodhi left today for a week to promote their film, and so it's just been feeling really quiet here, and I keep looking for Bodhi, and I'm noticing all little kids his age. I'm like, oh, I don't have my Bodhi, and it's the first time I've been away from him for a week. We've been away like a few days here, a few days there, but very rarely. And even when Mark and I had our trip to Tasmania for our little baby moon, that was 2 days. I bawled my eyes out the night before saying goodbye to the boys. I was just afraid something was going to happen. And then so last night I had Bodhi sleep in the bed with me and we just spooned each other and so it was like Mark, Poet, me and Bodhi all in the bed. And Poet's in her little co-sleeper and, she starts the night off in the snoo and then she comes into the co-sleeper. But it was really sweet. But of course today I'm feeling just a little bit low and I'm sure it's because they've gone and the house feels really quiet. It's also really cold here right now. Today it just got really cold and I haven't been wanting to go outside, and so we're just like cozy with the heater on, and it's just been a day where we've stayed inside all day. And I had so many tears last night, so many tears this morning when they left at 4 a.m. And Bodhi was being really sweet. He's like, it's okay to cry, Mama. And was telling Mark, Mama's having sad feelings because she has to say goodbye to me and she just loves me so much. So that was very sweet. The week has been really great. Little Miss has put on so much weight. She's been feeding like, oh my gosh, nobody's business. Definitely, she's a bigger feeder than both of the boys. She reminds me so much of Bodhi as a newborn, the way she looks, but also just her temperament, and she way prefers to be in arms. She loves nursing nonstop, round the clock. Today I gave her 3rd bath, but it was on my body and I feel like it was the perfect temperature and she just loved the bath. The other day, about 3 days ago, we tried to give her a bath on her own without being on my body, and we did it in the sink and she hated that. She just screamed bloody murder. So she definitely loves being on body, being in the water, and being close to Mama, which is really sweet. She has a lot of baby acne all through here and down here, and at first I thought maybe it was a rash, and now I just know she has really sensitive skin, and Forrest did as well. Bodhi never had sensitive skin, but Forrest, anything, he would brush up against the wrong material and then his face would just go bright red, and it's the same as her. So we've been watching that. We've been having to use some zinc cream on her bottom because she's starting to get a little bit red down there. And so we switched our organic wipes over to the water wipes. So it's just purer. And we've been using a really good nappy, which is the highest grade nappy you can get, the Bamboo Nature, which is amazing. And it's actually kind of hard to find sometimes, but there are 2 places in Adelaide that I know stock them. One of them is the Organic Market in Stirling, and the other one is the Frueville IGA, and they stock Bamboo as well. And that has got the highest certification in terms of being the best for your baby and organic and biodegradable. And I do not work for them in any way. I'm not an ambassador, nothing, not getting paid to say this, but they are my favorite nappies. So I went and actually bulk bought a bunch. I ordered them in to the Organic Market, and so I just have a bunch now. And then I ended up buying like 10 packets of water wipes, so we're all set. So she's been great. Like, this week we also bought a carrier. So I love baby wearing. It's one of my favorite things to do. However, I never really got into the wrapping. And I know there are lots of mummies out there who'll be like, you just have to figure out how to do it properly. And I know that is the case. Yes, my darling. Yeah. Yes, buddy. You can't find Nanny? Oh, you can't find Nanny's phone. Did she ask you to look for her phone, did she? It's not in the living room. Not in the couch either. I'm sure you guys will find it. Mummy's still doing her video, so I will come and help you look for it. Nanny, he's looking for your phone. But we're not offering any shows or anything. I wonder if that's why he wants the phone. Anyway, so Babywearing. Love it, but the box fell down. So the wrapping, so the ones that I have, they're really long, super long material. And when I'm wrapping it, I feel like it ends up dragging on the ground, or I don't get the perfect wrap. And maybe I just have never perfected it, and that's why it's not one of my favorite things to do, is do the wrap. But I think I would fare better with a ring sling because it's less material. But also, I was always using the Babywearing 360 carrier, and I loved that. But I think with the 360 carrier, you're supposed to have a newborn insert. I left that back in America, and the other day we were walking around Rundle Mall in Adelaide, and we had the Bugaboo pram, and oh my darling, you're looking for that, are you?
I'm looking for Nanny's phone. Oh,
okay, well, why don't you walk over to Nanny and she might be able to help you find it. Did she say she's looking for it? So the other day we were walking around and we had the double pram. We have the Bugaboo, and so there's the little bassinet that she sleeps in, and then the other side is where Forrest is in. And I wanted to hold her though, so I was carrying her around. I was like, I really do need to be arms free. So we ended up going into David Jones, and I bought the Ergo, and I had never really been a fan of the Ergo, and everyone loves the Ergo carrier that I know, all my friends do, but I always found it quite hard to get baby in and out and do it myself, whereas I found the 360 very easy to clip baby in and put it on myself and take baby out. So this time around I was looking at the 360 with the newborn insert, and then I saw that Ergo had just released a new one which they can face out and they can face in as well, and you don't even need a newborn insert. So it's for babies who weigh over 7 pounds and up. And so I tried it, and it's got these adjustable straps for the hips, and there's certain placement. You put it in the red section for it to be the newborn carry, and then you can move the legs out for as they get older. And I loved it. I put it on, it's grey, and I put her in it. It was really easy. I got her in and out super easy. So I've actually been using that. And so that's a new purchase this week. And so I've been wearing her down a lot more. And it's also very easy to nurse in that too, because I wanted to find a carrier that I could nurse into without me worried about her suffocating or not being in the right position. So that was a great purchase this week. Sleep-wise, hey Mum, do you mind having Folly for a minute so I can finish my video? Thanks. Anyway, so sleep-wise, the first few days of her life, she slept like crazy. I mean, which is very typical for a newborn, but she'd sleep for 12 hours if I didn't wake her up. And so I was kind of waking her up for feeds and to change her. And then it flipped around, and I think she thought that daytime was nighttime and nighttime was daytime. So the beginning of this week, the first 3 days, she was nursing every hour. I would put her back on her back and she'd be like, and I was like, oh my gosh, she wants more. Nurse her, burp her, then explosive diarrhea. And so we're up at like 2 a.m. changing her. And it got to the point where Mark's like, oh my God, I cannot keep getting up. And so we just stashed the nappies and the wipes in the bed with us. And we would just grab them and half asleep, changing the nappy, putting her back in her swaddle, patting her to sleep, and then putting her down again. We also brought the birth ball into the room so we can jump on the birth ball and bounce around, or the exercise ball, as it's also known. But that was really only the first 3 nights. And then slowly but surely she started lengthening those stretches of sleep. So she's sleeping about 3 to maybe 4, if we're lucky, hours a night without a feed. So she usually goes to bed when we go to bed, 9:30 p.m, which we've been going to bed kind of early. And so she'll go down, she'll have that nice stretch, and then nurse, change, stretch, nurse, change, stretch, which is good. And we are really big, I guess what has worked for our family, I should say, is the idea of not having a schedule. I know there are a lot of women out there who do baby can only eat at 12 and then at 3 and then at 5, and then they're very scheduled with when baby can eat and when baby can sleep. And I know a few friends who have done that. They also, some of them loved it, some of them felt it was really stressful because the baby would be crying because the baby was still hungry, but it wasn't quite the time to feed them, so they wouldn't be able to feed them until it was the right time. And I think that was probably a lot of my friends having babies for the first time, and then second time or third time round, they've sort of thrown the routine out the door and been just sort of doing a more play it by ear version of parenting, which is, the baby cries, you meet the need, and you go down the list of what it could possibly be. All right, first things first, does baby want a nurse? No? Okay. Does it need a burp? Does it need a nappy change? Does it want to be held and bounced to sleep? And that's kind of how we do it. So we always start in that order. We do the nursing, burping, like holding, cuddling, and usually we're able to meet baby's need, and she's barely crying because she shows us she gives us cues, and then we meet them. And that works really well for us. It's very cruisy, and because we've done that for so long with the boys as well, they're able to sleep on the go, sleep in the pram when they want, sleep in the car, and it doesn't have to be, we have to rush home to get back for baby's nap, or baby can only sleep in the cot. And we have more flexibility, which makes our lives easier as parents with young children. But whatever works for you guys, that's what's working for us. And really that has been our second week. So it's been great. She's beautiful and so sweet, and I feel so lucky. And it makes me love the boys so much more, having them all together and watching them interact with her. It's just divine. All right, guys, lots of love. Mwah.